this could be a long video again. I think all my videos might be a little long. So how it started, my dad died when I was 18. He was 42. They found this heart condition that he died of. And originally I had been diagnosed with asthma. I was in a lot of sports. I couldn't breathe. I was told to put my arms above my head, and it would open your airways, but it wouldn't help me. So I went to the doctor. They diagnosed me with exercise-induced asthma. The inhaler didn't help. It told me to lose weight. It was a whole. They just eventually just brushed me off. But so my dad died. That was found. So then I went and I got tested, thinking like maybe this was the cause. It ended up being the cause. And they told me just to monitor once every 3 years. So my hypertrophic cardiomyopathy was found when I was 18 years old, and it was still very mild back then. I say back then, but it was a while ago. I'm 30 now, so 12 years ago. And pulmonary hypertension was noted in my chart, like from the echo, but it wasn't told to me, and I guess I kind of understand. So when you have an echo, it's just like an ultrasound of your heart. And they don't know exactly your pulmonary pressures. It's just a guess based on measurements. It's windy today. So they didn't do anything about it. Last year, so I had my son when I was 20. I had a pretty hard-ish labor. Pregnancy was great. Labor was hard with my heart. But I mean, again, they kept me for an extra 2-3 days. Extra days. I was discharged after he was. I know that. And then again, they just monitor every 3 years. Last year, some stuff happened that I don't want to talk about yet. Maybe in the future, but not right now. That I asked my doctor how serious these numbers were because they did the echo, and these numbers were a lot higher than I knew they were supposed to be. And he said they're just a guess. He ended up asking for a heart catheterization to be done, which is an invasive procedure, but it's the only way to actually diagnose pulmonary hypertension, to see how actual severe it is. So we did this test, and it came back really bad. At that point, he decided that I needed more than what he was able to provide. So he referred me down. My phone almost died, sorry. He had referred me down to a more advanced hospital. I met with 6 doctors down there. I eventually got placed with a heart failure specific doctor. He's amazing. I love him so much. I'm really sad that post-transplant I won't have him anymore, but he's been following me since last June. So last June I went to him. I had a bunch of appointments. I was doing a lot of holistic things. Like I was drinking beetroot juice, making it every day. It's disgusting, but it has nitrates in it. It's really good for your lungs. So if you're sick, you should, or if you can't breathe, do beetroot juice. Just stomach it. It sucks, but do it. So I was drinking beetroot juice, tart cherry juice. I was taking a couple of different herbs. I was doing acupuncture, chiropractic, massage therapy. I think that might be it. I don't know. I was doing a lot of things. So in November, it sounded like on the outside, it sounded like I was getting better. So I was able to walk further, and I was feeling good. So my November appointment, my cardiologist listened to my heart also, and he goes, "You sound like you're doing actually better. Let's do a repeat heart cath." Knowing this isn't reversible, but you never know. We did a repeat heart cath. My numbers came back worse than they were before. So while I was looking and feeling better on the outside, my insides were actually doing worse. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the traffic, but So then it was in November. At that point, he brought up that we should put a defibrillator in as an insurance policy, he calls it. Just to ensure that because if everyone doesn't know, cardiomyopathy, the number one symptom is sudden death. So like it's not chest pain, it's not high heart rate. It's the main symptom that most people have is just sudden death. A lot of people don't know they have it until they die. So they put in, so he wanted me to get a defibrillator. Ooh, my stutter. Put in, so in January I had that place. I have a little box right here. I can actually grab it and feel it. It's kind of weird. It took a lot to get used to, but it's tucked between the two muscles in your ribs, and there's a wire that goes across like my bottom rib-ish, and then it comes up my sternum. So you can't see it, but it's there. So they placed that in January. In February, I started declining. In March is when they referred me to the transplant team, thinking that it might be time for a transplant. In June, I finally met with that team. It was a very brief visit. The transplant pulmonologist met with me and went, yeah, I think we need to start the process. But it's a really weird process going through transplant. So then I finally got in for eval week in September, because I just did that. So September I did eval week, which could be an entire video on its own. Eval week is a lot. And they meet and they decide if they list you, and they met and they decided they want to list me immediately. How I'm feeling is a loaded question. Physically, I feel like it's really hard to breathe a lot, but I am pushing through it because I have to. Walking is really hard. I can't walk long distances at all. I'm good at walking if it's not cold and it's completely flat or downhill. Not downhill, like a small downhill. But then I'm pretty okay. If there's any sort of incline, I can't do it. If it's a hill at all, if it's even a little hill, I can. I have to take breaks. Sometimes walking through stores, I have to sit down because I just can't breathe anymore. I've started recently getting what I call the sleepies. I have a lot of fun terms for medical things that make them sound less serious. But so the sleepies, my blood pressure has been dropping to, what's the most recent one? 84/64, I think it was. So the sleepies is I get really lightheaded and tired. So like I either almost faint or I need to just take a little nappy. And then my blood pressure comes back up and I'm fine. But it's really scary when it happens. Also, my heart rate will spike. I think like one of the times it was 180 something from doing nothing. It just does it. Again, it's scary and it sucks. Mentally, I'm handling it. I'm very angry. I feel cheated. I feel like I could have done more in my life and it sucks. But we're hoping for after transplant. We're hoping I make it through. And then I can do all the things that I'm allowed to do because there's rules. But how I'm feeling is a loaded question. So that's a really long video. I'm sorry, but that's what it is.